How you spend your hours is how you shape your future. That's not just an idea. It's the absolute truth. Every second that slips through your hands without purpose is a piece of your life you'll never get back. Every moment you use wisely is an investment that builds the future you say you want. But here's the problem. Most people don't realize the value of time until it's already gone. Days disappear into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Suddenly, the vision you had for your life feels distant, unreachable. That's how dreams die, not from lack of potential, but from wasted time. This audiobook is not for the ones who want to keep drifting. It's not for those who keep saying someday while doing nothing today. This is for the person who is finally ready to take control, ready to sharpen focus, fix habits, and demand more from themselves. You're about to learn how to command your mornings, protect your nights, cut away distractions, and build systems that actually work. Because this is not just about productivity, it's about life itself. Your life, your time. And once you decide to use it right, everything changes. But if you waste it, nothing will. Stay with me until the end. Because after this, you will never look at time the same way again. When the day ends and the noise of the world finally begins to fade, that's the exact moment when champions prepare for tomorrow. Most people close their eyes at night without the slightest clue of what awaits them in the morning. They hope the day will somehow bring them something good, but hope alone doesn't create success. If you want tomorrow to be strong, you must prepare for it tonight. You must decide where your energy, your effort, and your focus will go before the sun rises again. Without a plan, you drift. And drifting never builds a life worth living. Think about the confidence that comes from waking up already knowing what you need to do. No confusion. No wasted energy debating the first move. Just clarity, calm, and direction. That clarity doesn't come by accident. It comes from a few deliberate minutes spent at the end of each day mapping out the next. Science proves this. The brain rests more peacefully when it knows there's a plan. Sleep becomes deeper, recovery becomes stronger, and you wake up ready, not restless. The truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours, but not everyone uses them wisely. Some wake up with no direction and lose half their day before they even realize it. They scroll through their phone, wander into conversations with no meaning, and waste hours before the day has even started. But the people who plan tomorrow tonight, they wake with purpose. They already know which task deserves attention, which decision must be made, which effort will move them closer to their goals. That's the difference between drifting through time and directing time. Here's how you build this discipline. Before you sleep, take 10 minutes. Sit with a notebook or even a single piece of paper. Ask yourself, what is the one most important task tomorrow that will move me forward? Write it down. Then list the top 3 things you must complete no matter what. Keep it simple. Do not drown yourself with 20 pointless tasks. Clarity beats chaos. Picture this. You prepare your desk, lay out your clothes, and set your tools in place. You close the day with intention, so when morning comes, there's no decision fatigue. No wasted time figuring out where to start. You simply begin. That single habit, closing your day by preparing for the next, changes how you use time forever. Your brain craves certainty. Without it, you wake up in stress mode, juggling 10 thoughts at once but acting on none of them. With it, you wake up calm and focused. You protect your energy before the day even begins. This practice is not about perfection. Life will always throw surprises at you. But here's the key. When you start with a plan, even unexpected events can't shake you as much. You can adjust because your foundation is already strong. Without that foundation, you're stuck reacting to everything around you. And living in reaction mode is the fastest way to waste your life. Why does this habit work so well? Because it forces alignment between your mind and your actions. At night, you reflect on what worked today, where you wasted time, and where you found progress. Then you carry that reflection into tomorrow's plan. It creates a loop of growth. Reflection at night, execution in the morning, progress during the day. Do this again and again, and you don't just use time wisely, you master it. Imagine going to bed with peace because tomorrow is already handled. Imagine waking up energized because there's no guesswork, no panic, no wasted thought. That emotional calm is priceless. It builds confidence, and confidence grows when you trust yourself to follow through. Every night you plan tomorrow, you're teaching yourself discipline. You're proving that your goals matter enough to prepare for them. That act alone builds resilience, the kind of resilience that carries you through setbacks and challenges. There's another hidden benefit most people don't think about. Planning improves sleep. How many nights have you tossed and turned thinking about unfinished tasks? By writing them down, you release the weight from your mind. You're telling yourself it's handled. It's already written. Tomorrow is ready. And with that, your brain rests. Better rest equals stronger energy. Stronger energy equals better decisions. Better decisions equal better results. And here's the truth. Success is not one giant achievement. It's the stacking of countless small, wise uses of time. One night of planning won't change your life. But 30 nights in a row? That will transform you. Your mornings will be sharper. Your days will be more productive. And your evenings will end with pride instead of regret. That consistency, that simple act of choosing intention over drift, is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. So feel the urgency of this. Every day wasted is a piece of your life you'll never get back. Time is the one resource you cannot earn again. That's why planning tomorrow tonight is not optional. It's the starting point of control. It's the signal you send to yourself that your life matters, that your goals matter, that you refuse to drift without direction. Start tonight. Review the people you spoke to, the work you did, the time you wasted, and the time you used well. Shape tomorrow based on what you've learned. If you lost hours today, promise yourself you won't repeat it tomorrow. If you gained progress in a certain activity, schedule more of it tomorrow. That's how self-awareness becomes strength. That's how you learn from your own psychology. That's how you build accountability to yourself. And remember, saying, "I don't have time to plan," is the weakest excuse of all. 10 minutes of planning tonight can save hours tomorrow. If you truly believe you don't have time, it means you're already losing more time than you can afford. The successful don't look for excuses. They look for strategies. And this is one of the simplest, most powerful strategies you'll ever use. When you finish your plan each night, you feel a sense of closure. The day is complete, and you end it with purpose. That emotional closure may be small, but it's powerful. Keeps you motivated. Motivation grows when you know you're moving forward, even in small steps. Soon you'll notice another change. You'll become more selective with your time. Because when you plan tomorrow tonight, you see exactly how valuable each hour is. You'll stop saying yes to distractions. You'll stop wasting time with people and activities that don't move you forward. You'll start choosing actions that build your success. That's the real power of this discipline. Planning creates awareness, and awareness creates better choices. Remember this: success is never built on chance. It's built on daily habits. And planning tomorrow tonight is one of the most powerful habits you can ever develop. Close your day with intention. Open the next with confidence. That's how you master your time. That's how you master your life. The earliest hours of the morning decide more about your destiny than most people dare to admit. When the world is quiet and the air feels untouched, you are standing at the door of your advantage. In those first moments, no one is asking for you, no one is pulling at you, no one is competing for your attention. That silence is a gift. Either you use it to build your future, or you donate it to distractions that pay you nothing. Too many people waste these golden hours. They wake up and hand their mind to the phone. They scroll. They wander. They react. By the time they try to do anything meaningful, the day has already placed its weight on them. Momentum is gone. Focus is fractured. And they spend the afternoon trying to catch up to a morning they threw away. High performers live differently. They guard their mornings like a vault. No access, no noise, no randomness. They start with what matters most, not with what shouts the loudest. They understand a simple truth. If you own your first hours, you own your day. And if you own your day, you own your life. Your biology agrees. After sleep, your brain's decision center, the prefrontal cortex, has the clearest charge it will hold all day. Willpower is highest. Distractions haven't multiplied yet. The world's demands haven't arrived. That is why the morning is the best time to push important work forward. Waiting until afternoon to do what matters is like starting a race by running backward. So ask yourself the question that changes everything. What matters most in this season of my life? Health? Use the morning to move your body. Learning? Use the morning to study, write, or practice. Career breakthrough? Use the morning to push the hard, high-value task that everyone else avoids. The specific action matters less than this. Your best energy belongs to your best priorities. Picture a different start. You wake without chaos. The plan is already written from the night before. You drink water, breathe deeply, and sit with your one most important task. No tabs open. No notifications. No conversations. Just you and the work that changes your future. 30 focused minutes like this can beat 3 scattered hours later in the day. And when that work is done, you carry a quiet pride into everything that follows. You don't chase momentum. You create it before sunrise. This is not only about productivity. It's about identity. When you give your first hours to your goals, you send yourself a message. My future matters. My word to myself matters. I am the kind of person who moves first, not last. That message, repeated daily, builds a backbone of confidence that no external validation can provide. You stop begging the day to be generous. You decide it will be. People say they don't have time. Look closely at their mornings. You'll find 20 minutes surrendered to messages, 15 to random videos, another 25 to warming up with tasks that feel busy but are hollow. The truth? They have time. They're spending it on what's easiest instead of what's essential. You don't need more hours. You need better choices for the hours you already have. Start small and start soon. Wake just 30 to 60 minutes earlier than usual. Claim that time before the world can. Place your phone in another room if you must. Begin with a simple ritual: water, breath, movement, and then your most valuable task. If that's writing, write. If that's reading, read. If that's building your offer, building your product, building your body, do the thing that moves the needle. The rule is simple. No input before output. Feed your goals before you feed on the world's opinions. Guard this hour with unreasonable boundaries. Treat it like a sacred appointment you cannot miss. If a friend asks to talk, then the answer is no. If an email arrives, it can wait. If the voice of laziness says, 5 more minutes, you ignore it like spam. Your future is not built by feelings. It's built by standards. As you repeat this practice, your mind starts expecting results. A new identity forms. I am someone who starts strong. That shift is powerful. Doubt begins to lose its voice because each morning you collect proof. You don't need motivational speeches to convince you. You act your way into belief. The fastest path to confidence is keeping promises to yourself in the quiet hours. Pay attention to the contrast you feel on different days. On the mornings you waste, you feel heavy and behind. On the mornings you use well, you feel calm and ahead. That emotional gap is a map. Follow the version of you that stands taller, speaks cleaner, and moves with intention. That version is born in the first hour. Morning clarity isn't just about action. It's also prime time for thinking. Before the noise arrives, your thoughts align. Use a few minutes to journal questions that sharpen direction. What is my one win today? Where am I overcomplicating? What needs to be said, shipped, or solved? You'll notice problems that felt confusing at night can untangle in minutes after sunrise. The brain loves early light and clear targets. If you're tempted to save impactful work for later, remember decision fatigue. As the day goes on, choices pile up and attention thins out. By afternoon, you're negotiating with yourself. By evening, you're negotiating with the couch. That's why the most valuable things often die at night. They never got their morning chance to live. Consider the math of discipline. 2 focused hours each morning equals 730 hours a year. That's 730 hours of writing the book, learning the skill, mastering the craft, building the body, launching the product. The compound effect is ridiculous. A person who commits those hours consistently will seem lucky in a year. But it isn't luck. It's arithmetic plus courage. Don't underestimate the spiritual effect either. Morning wins create a clean heart feeling, a grounded certainty that you've already honored what matters. You walk into meetings with calm because you're not anxious about undone priorities. You're not trying to prove yourself. You're continuing momentum you already created while the world was asleep. What if your mornings feel crowded by responsibilities, kids, commute, shift work? Then your edge becomes creativity. Maybe your window is 20 quiet minutes after you wake a child, 15 minutes in the car before going in, a half hour in a parked quiet place between duties. Perfection is a myth. What matters is ownership. Find a sliver of time and make it powerful. 5 well-guarded mornings a week beat 7 perfect mornings that never happen. Design a morning environment that removes friction. Lay out clothes the night before. Prepare water and coffee. Place your journal and tools on the desk. Turn off every alert. Put your phone in Do Not Disturb and face down. Let your space send a message. This is where progress happens. Make it easy to start and hard to drift. Stack the right habits. Think of your first 60 to 90 minutes as a simple sequence. Wake and hydrate. Tell your body it's time to engage. Breathe or move. 2 minutes of breath work or a short mobility flow resets attention. Zero input zone. No news, no timelines, no inbox. Your mind is not a trash can. One meaningful output. Write the paragraph. Solve the key problem. Lift the weight. Ship the draft. Short review and set the next target. Note your win and write the very next block you'll tackle tomorrow. That's it. Understated, repeatable, powerful. A word about phones. The morning battle is often won or lost by a thumb. Apps are designed to hijack your attention first thing when your guard is down. If you must use your phone, for a timer, a workout, audio learning, go in with intention. Open the exact app you need and nothing else. Better yet, set up a morning home screen with only essential tools visible. Remove every tempting icon. If you don't command your defaults will command you. You'll meet resistance. Your bed will feel persuasive. Your brain will pitch false bargains. You deserve a slow start. You can do it later. One day off won't matter. Understand, that's not your true voice. It's just comfort speaking the language of regret. Train a counter voice that is calm and firm. We move now. We do one meaningful thing now. Later is already busy. Don't argue with the mind. Act and let action update identity. What about recovery? Strong mornings don't require heroic sleep deprivation. In fact, they demand respect for sleep. The evening routine you build in Chapter 10 will make early focus easier. Go to bed like a professional and waking up becomes less of a fight. Discipline works in cycles. Sharp nights create strong mornings. Strong mornings make it easier to earn restful nights. Use the morning for your highest leverage. Replying to messages is quick dopamine with low return. Deep work, strategy, building, learning creates delayed gratification with huge return. Ask each task, does this build my future or just tidy my present? Choose the builders. Tidying can wait. If you lead a team or a family, your morning discipline becomes culture. People feel it. Your presence steadies the room because you're not scrambling. You become the person who has already done the hard thing before 9 a.m., and that quiet credibility compounds into influence. People don't follow words. They follow energy. Bring the energy of someone who started with purpose. Expect imperfection. Some mornings will collapse. An emergency, a sick child, a surprise crisis. That's life. The rule is simple: miss once, never twice. Protect the next morning with extra care. Momentum hates empty chairs. Even a shortened session keeps the rhythm alive. Consistency is not about never missing. It's about never quitting. Track proof. Create a simple morning ledger. Date, start time, focus block completed. One sentence about the win. Watch the chain grow. You'll start defending it instinctively because the streak represents who you are becoming. When identity and behavior lock arms, change becomes effortless. Beware of the productive costume. Spending your first hours setting up forever. Perfect playlist, perfect pen, perfect light. That's disguised procrastination. Good enough starts now. The work makes the environment feel sacred, not the other way around. If motivation is low, shrink the first step until it's laughably easy. 2 minutes of movement. 1 paragraph. 10 push-ups. 5 lines of code. The brain resists starting, not continuing. Cross the line and momentum pulls you forward. Most of your resistance melts in the first 90 seconds of honest effort. Finally, let the morning reintroduce you to yourself. Before the world tells you who you should be, decide who you are. Before the internet floods your mind with urgent trivia, choose what is truly important. Before you react to 100 requests, answer the one request that matters most. The request from your future self asking you not to abandon them again. Use your first hours to say yes to that future. Write the pages. Study the craft. Build the body. Ship the work. Learn the thing that makes you dangerous. Do the brave, boring, brilliant blocks of time that nobody applauds at 6 a.m., the ones that make the applause inevitable at 6 p.m. Master the morning, and the rest of the day falls in line. Master enough mornings, and your life cannot help but change. Every person you allow into your life is shaping you, sometimes in ways too subtle to notice. The conversations you hear, the attitudes you absorb, the habits you witness, all of them leave fingerprints on your mind. And here's the harsh truth. Not everyone around you is helping you grow. Some people are slowing you down, distracting you, or even pulling you backward. Time is not just measured in hours, it's measured in energy, focus, and direction. If you spend too much of it with people who live without discipline, who complain endlessly, who avoid responsibility, their energy bleeds into you. Soon, you find yourself carrying weights that were never yours to begin with. Success requires clarity, and clarity begins with protecting your time from people who drain it. Think of yourself like a plant. You can't grow strong roots in toxic soil. You can't thrive in an environment where nothing nourishes you. If the people around you are constantly negative, fearful, or complacent, that becomes the atmosphere you breathe. You may not notice at first, but slowly your standards lower. You stop expecting more from yourself because no one around you expects more from themselves. Psychology has proven this over and over again. Human beings adapt to the energy of the group they spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with people who move slowly, you'll move slowly. If you surround yourself with people who are sharp, disciplined, and ambitious, you'll rise to match them. That is why protecting your time is not just a personal preference. It's survival for your future. Now, limiting time doesn't mean hating people or cutting them off with cruelty. It means choosing priorities wisely. It means respecting your own life enough to say, I cannot spend endless hours in places that weaken me. Notice how you feel after certain interactions. Do you leave motivated, lighter, clearer? Or do you leave drained, doubtful, distracted? That feeling is not random. It's feedback. If you leave weaker, you just paid a price in energy. And when you spend your days constantly paying that price, you're left with nothing to invest in yourself. Here's the courage many people avoid. Reducing time with those who hold you back. It's not easy. Sometimes these are friends, coworkers, even family members. Removing them completely may not always be possible. But you can limit how much of yourself they consume. You can reduce the hours. You can limit the access. And you can filter what parts of your vision you share with them. For example, a coworker who gossips endlessly, you don't need to join the circle. Keep your exchanges professional and move on. A friend who spends hours complaining, you don't need to stay for 3 wasted hours. Cut it to 15 minutes and protect the rest. A relative who doubts every dream you share. Stop handing them your dreams for validation. Protect your goals by choosing silence in front of doubters. Your progress depends heavily on your environment. When you surround yourself with those who refuse to grow, their pace becomes your prison. When you surround yourself with those who challenge you, their pace becomes your fuel. Yes, people will notice when you limit time. Some will call you distant. Some will say you've changed. And they're right, you are changing. You're refusing to live at their level. Understand this. The ones who resist your growth are usually the ones most invested in keeping you the same. Do not let their discomfort decide your destiny. Limiting time with the wrong people doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means creating space for better influences to enter. When you free up hours from negativity, you naturally attract those who share your values, discipline, and hunger for growth. You can't plant new seeds in a garden that's overrun with weeds. Think of your time as money. Would you invest in something that never grows? Would you pour your savings into a project guaranteed to fail? Of course not. Then why invest hours of your life in conversations, environments, and relationships that give you no return? Be wise. Spend your time where it multiplies your growth. When you start doing this, you'll feel lighter, more mental clarity, more energy, more motivation. You'll start filling that space with books, mentors, accountability partners, meaningful conversations, and progress that actually matters. And here's the most important part. Don't confuse loyalty with sacrifice. True loyalty is not lowering yourself to stay stuck with others. True loyalty is rising so that you can set an example of what growth looks like. You can't help anyone by staying weak with them. But when you grow strong, you become proof that change is possible. Limiting time with the wrong people is not selfish. It's responsible. It's respect for yourself, for your goals, and for your potential. So take inventory. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Do they push you forward or hold you back? Do they challenge your excuses or feed them? Do they inspire your growth or normalize your stagnation? Your future is being shaped right now by the company you keep. Be careful who you give your hours to, because every wasted hour with the wrong people is a stolen hour from your own progress. Choose wisely, limit carefully, protect your growth at all costs. Everywhere you turn today, a screen is waiting to pull you in. Phones, laptops, tablets, televisions, each one competing for your attention with an endless supply of noise. And while technology is powerful, the truth is this: how you use it will either build your future or silently destroy it. Most people are losing years of their life one scroll at a time. They wake up and hand their morning to notifications. They sit down to work and half the hours vanish into apps and feeds. By the weekend, dozens of hours are gone. Time that could have been used to learn, to grow, to build, vanished into nothing. That is not just wasted time. That is wasted opportunity, wasted potential, wasted life. If you want real success, you must take control of your screen use. You must track it, measure it, and replace the waste with learning. Human psychology makes this clear. What gets measured improves. If you never track your screen time, you'll underestimate it. You'll convince yourself you spend an hour or 2, but the truth is often for 5 or even more. That's over 1,000 hours a year. Time that could have built a new skill, a new business, or a new version of yourself. Start with awareness. Use the tools built into your phone or apps that track screen time. Look at the raw numbers. They may shock you, but that shock is good. It wakes you up. It shows you exactly where your future is slipping away. Then comes the shift, replacing waste with growth. Your phone can be a tool for success if you use it with intention. The same device that tempts you with endless scrolling can deliver audiobooks, online courses, language lessons, or inspiring talks. The same screen that drains you can educate you if you choose. Think about this. If you replaced just 1 wasted hour per day with focused learning, you would gain 365 hours a year. That's the equivalent of a full college course. That's a skill mastered, a business plan built, or a body transformed. The problem isn't that people don't have time. The problem is how they spend it. So start small. Instead of opening social media first thing in the morning, open a book or listen to a podcast that feeds your mind. Instead of wasting your commute scrolling, fill it with learning that strengthens you. Instead of staring at screens for 2 hours before bed, spend one of those hours studying something that builds your future. This doesn't mean cutting out all entertainment. It means choosing balance. It means training yourself to invest more hours into what pays you back, instead of what leaves you empty. Pay attention to how you feel after different types of screen use. When you waste time scrolling, you feel tired, distracted, guilty. When you spend the same time learning, you feel energized, proud, motivated. That emotional difference is the truth speaking. Technology itself is neutral. What makes it good or bad is your habit. The successful turn their devices into tools. They use them to connect with mentors, to study, to practice, to share meaningful work. The unsuccessful use the same devices for gossip, distraction, and endless entertainment. Same screen, completely different outcomes. Never forget, apps are designed to keep you hooked. Notifications are built to steal your attention. Algorithms don't care about your growth. They care about profit from your time. That means you must fight back with awareness and control. Set rules. No screens during meals. No meaningless browsing before bed. No notifications during deep work. Boundaries are not restrictions, they are shields. They protect your time, your mind, and your future. Over time, these boundaries become habits, and habits shape destiny. The greatest benefit of controlling screen use is not just the hours you save. It's the person you become. You become someone who values growth over distraction. You become someone who respects time. You become someone others look at and say, that person is disciplined. That person is serious about success. Every hour invested in learning today pays you back tomorrow with new skills, new opportunities, and new confidence. Every hour wasted disappears forever. So track your use. Replace waste with learning. Start with 1 hour a day and let it grow. When you discipline yourself in this way, your mind sharpens, your confidence rises, and your future opens with new possibilities. This is not about saying no to entertainment. It is about saying yes to growth. And when you consistently say yes to growth, success doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. Most people live in constant motion, running from task to task, meeting to meeting, problem to problem. They are always reacting, never directing. Their schedule looks full, but their mind feels empty. And because they never stop to think, their decisions remain weak, their focus scattered, their life unclear. If you want to live differently, you must do what most people refuse to do. Schedule daily thinking time. Not someday, not when life slows down. Every day. This isn't about endless reflection without action. It's about creating a quiet pocket of space where you step back, breathe, and guide your choices with intention. Because without reflection, mistakes repeat. Without reflection, wasted time multiplies. Without reflection, you drift into patterns you don't even realize are holding you back. But when you take a few minutes to think deliberately, everything changes. Your decisions sharpen. Your focus strengthens. Your path becomes clearer. Daily thinking time is powerful because it gives you distance from noise. The world is loud. Phones buzz. Demands scream. Problems chase you down. When you create stillness, your mind finally has space to process, to connect patterns, to see solutions that were buried under chaos. This is why so many breakthroughs happen in the shower, on a walk, or in quiet moments you finally gave your brain room to work. Here's the danger of living without reflection. You react impulsively. You make choices from stress, fear, or habit. You agree to things you should have declined. You spend energy on the wrong projects. You chase distractions because you never stopped long enough to ask, does this even matter? The cost of poor decisions is massive. The reward of better ones is life-changing. To build this discipline, choose a specific time each day. Could be early morning before the world wakes, or evening when the day winds down. The timing matters less than the consistency. What matters is this. During that window, there are no distractions. No phone, no television, no conversations. Just you, your thoughts, and maybe a notebook. Ask yourself questions that cut through the fog. What went well today? What could I have done better? What decision do I need to face tomorrow? What is the smartest use of my time this week? Write your answers. Writing forces clarity. It locks thoughts onto paper instead of letting them slip away. Over time, you'll build a record of growth, a journal of lessons that shows you how far you've come. The benefits of this habit ripple everywhere. Your mind feels lighter because you no longer carry a storm of unprocessed thoughts. Your stress lowers because decisions are no longer rushed. Your confidence grows because you've already rehearsed your choices before life demands them. You stop being surprised by problems, you start preparing for them. Think of all the pain caused by impulsive decisions. The wrong investment, the wasted project, the careless words. Almost all of it could have been avoided if you had paused to think first. That pause is power. That pause is wisdom. That pause is the difference between regret and progress. Psychology confirms this. The brain continues working on problems even when you're not aware. By setting aside reflection time, you give it permission to surface answers. You might sit quietly with a question in mind, and the insight arrives hours later, not by accident but because you gave it space earlier. Without reflection, those answers stay buried under noise. Daily thinking also keeps you aligned with your values. In the rush of life, it's easy to forget what truly matters. You chase urgency, not importance. But when you reflect, you remember. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I must prioritize. That alignment gives life meaning. Some people say thinking is unproductive. They are wrong. Nothing is more productive than making better decisions. A single clear choice can save you months of wasted effort. A single insight can redirect your time towards something that multiplies your success. Thinking isn't a delay, it's acceleration. Reflection also builds emotional strength. Instead of carrying mistakes as guilt, you carry them as lessons. Instead of hiding from your flaws, you study them and grow. Reflection turns pain into progress. It transforms failure into wisdom. Keep the practice simple. Even 15 minutes a day adds up to more than 90 hours of reflection per year. 90 hours of sharpening your decisions, strengthening your focus, and improving your clarity. Imagine the gap between someone who never reflects and someone who reflects 90 hours a year. The difference in results, in wisdom, in peace, it's enormous. Your future is not just shaped by how hard you work, but by how clearly you decide. And clarity does not appear out of thin air. It comes from scheduled thinking time, protected, consistent, deliberate. So treat it as non-negotiable, as important as eating, as necessary as sleeping. Sit down daily, quiet the noise, and think. Ask the hard questions. Face the truth. Choose with clarity. Do this and you'll stop living in confusion. You'll stop chasing distractions. You'll stop wasting years. Instead, you'll live with direction, wisdom, and strength. That is the power of daily thinking time. One of the biggest killers of dreams isn't lack of talent. It isn't lack of resources. It isn't even failure. It's delay. The silent habit of saying, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And before you know it, years have passed. And the thing you said you would do is still sitting in your mind, collecting dust. If you want to break free from this cycle, you must master one simple discipline. Set deadlines. Deadlines create urgency. Urgency creates action. Without them, you drift. With them, you direct your energy. Think about how students behave. Many procrastinate until the night before an exam or the final week of a project. Suddenly, focus appears. Distractions disappear. Hours that used to vanish in waste are now packed with productivity. Why? Because the deadline is real, non-negotiable, and close. Now imagine applying that same principle to your personal goals. Imagine giving yourself clear finish lines instead of leaving tasks open-ended. You would complete more in weeks than most people do in years. Because here's the truth. Most of the work you delay for weeks could be finished in hours if you gave it a proper deadline. A task without a deadline is like a ship with no destination. It floats endlessly, hoping the wind will take it somewhere. But a task with a deadline has a port to reach. And when the port is in sight, you move with purpose. Human psychology confirms this. The brain responds to boundaries. Unlimited time equals low focus. But a defined timeline sends a signal, this matters, this must be done now. That pressure is uncomfortable, but it's the kind of pressure that produces results. So how do you make deadlines work for you? First, make them realistic. If a project takes 10 hours, don't pretend you can finish in 2. That only sets you up for failure. But don't give yourself 30 either, because that kills urgency. Find the sweet spot that stretches you without breaking you. Second, write them down. Don't keep deadlines floating in your head. Put them on paper, in a planner, or on a calendar. When you see them, they become real. Visibility creates accountability. Third, respect them. This is where most people fail. They treat deadlines like soft suggestions instead of hard commitments. Don't do that. See them as promises to yourself. If you say Friday, it's Friday. No excuses, no extensions. Discipline begins when you keep your own word. Fourth, break big goals into smaller deadlines. Writing a book? Don't just say, finish the book this year. That's too big, too vague. Say, finish chapter 1 by Friday. Chapter 2 by next Wednesday. Each small finish line creates progress. Step by step, the mountain shrinks into manageable climbs. Deadlines also sharpen prioritization. When everything feels open-ended, you waste energy on trivial tasks. But when you attach dates, you're forced to decide what matters most. The urgent rises, the unnecessary falls. And clarity becomes your new weapon. Some people think freedom means no deadlines. That's a lie. Real freedom comes from discipline. Because when you live without deadlines, you're not free, you're trapped. Trapped by distractions, laziness, and endless delay. You may feel free in the moment, but your future is being stolen in silence. Living with deadlines flips the script. Now you control time instead of time controlling you. You complete tasks, you build momentum, and you create space for true rest. Rest that feels earned. Rest that feels free. There's another hidden benefit. Deadlines train you for pressure. Life will always throw unexpected challenges your way. Emergencies, urgent decisions, short timelines. If you've never trained yourself to act under pressure, those moments crush you. But if you live with self-imposed deadlines, pressure becomes familiar. Urgency no longer scares you, it strengthens you. And remember this, goals without deadlines are just wishes. Saying, I want to start a business someday means nothing. Saying, I'll finish my business plan by next Friday means everything. Wishes die. Deadlines deliver. Here's something powerful. Deadlines also reveal your true priorities. If you keep delaying a task even after giving it a deadline, ask yourself, does this even matter to me? If it does, push yourself harder. If it doesn't, drop it. Stop carrying fake goals that drain you. Deadlines build confidence. Every time you complete one, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, disciplined, capable. Every time you ignore one, you send yourself the opposite message, that your word doesn't matter. Which message do you want to live with? Accountability can help. Share your deadlines with someone you trust. Tell them when you'll finish. Now, it's not just about you, it's about your credibility. That external accountability doubles the pressure, which doubles the results. In the end, deadlines are about respect. Respect for your time, your goals, and your future. Without them, life slips away in excuses. With them, you move faster, stronger, and clearer. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a lie. The perfect moment is now, defined, written, and committed with a deadline. Set them, respect them, complete them. Do this consistently, and delay will lose its grip on you forever. Your health is the foundation of everything you hope to achieve. Without it, even the best ideas stay trapped in your mind. Without energy, even the strongest plans collapse before they're finished. Too many people chase success while silently destroying the very tool that makes success possible, their body. They skip meals. They eat junk. They ignore exercise. They sacrifice sleep. For a while, they push through. But eventually, the body collects the debt. Fatigue arrives. Focus disappears. Sickness creeps in. Productivity crashes. What looked like progress turns into decline. Understand this, your body is not a machine you can run into the ground without consequence. It's the engine that fuels every decision, every conversation, every act of progress. Take care of it, and it will reward you with energy and strength. Neglect it, and it will punish you with weakness and limits. If you truly want to achieve your goals, you must see health not as an afterthought, but as a non-negotiable investment of time. Because energy drives action, and action creates results. Investing in health doesn't require perfection. You don't need to be an elite athlete. What matters is consistency. Small daily choices compound into extraordinary energy over time. 30 minutes of movement, a balanced meal, a full night of sleep. These small investments multiply into massive returns. Think about food. Heavy meals leave you sluggish. Sugary snacks spike your energy only to crash it moments later. Processed junk dulls your focus. Now compare that to nutrient-rich food, lean proteins, whole grains, fruits, vegetables. Suddenly your thoughts are sharper, your mood lighter, your body ready to move. Food isn't just fuel for taste. It's fuel for performance. Every meal is a decision about whether you'll have the strength to chase your goals or the fatigue to avoid them. Then there's movement. Your body was designed to move, not to sit in a chair for 12 hours a day. Exercise doesn't just build muscles, it builds clarity, resilience, and mood. A simple walk reduces stress. A workout clears tension. A stretch session resets focus. You don't need hours in a gym. Even short, consistent activity creates lasting change. And rest, perhaps the most ignored investment of all. Sleep is not wasted time. It's when your body repairs, your brain resets, and your energy is restored. Without it, decisions weaken, mood crashes, and productivity falls apart. Skipping sleep to work is like refusing to refuel your car because you're in a hurry. You might keep moving for a short distance, but soon you'll break down completely. Strong health also changes how you carry yourself. When you feel strong, you project strength. Your voice is clearer. Your posture is sharper. Your presence commands respect. People notice. They trust your discipline because they can see it in your body and your energy. More importantly, when you invest in your health, you're telling yourself, I matter. My life matters. That act builds self-respect. And self-respect fuels discipline in every other area. Neglecting health often signals neglect of self. Caring for health is proof you value yourself enough to fight for your future. And here's the truth. Investing in health doesn't cost time. It creates it. Because when your energy is high, you work faster, think clearer, and finish in half the hours. Poor health steals time by making everything take longer. Good health multiplies time by making everything easier. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Will your future self thank you for today's choices or resent you for them? If you invest in health, that future version of you will stand stronger, live longer, and experience more life. If you neglect it, regret will arrive, and by then, it may be too late to fix. Remember this: success without health is failure in disguise. What good is wealth if you're too weak to enjoy it? What good is achievement if sickness steals your years? True success includes vitality, strength, longevity, and that comes only from daily investment in health. So start small. Drink water instead of soda. Walk instead of scrolling. Sleep instead of staying up with meaningless entertainment. Build habits, not miracles. The person who chooses small healthy actions daily will always outlast the person searching for shortcuts. And don't forget, your energy is contagious. When you take care of yourself, you inspire others. Your family feels it. Your coworkers notice it. Your friends are influenced by it. By showing discipline and health, you don't just elevate your life, you elevate everyone connected to you. At the deepest level, health is life. Without it, nothing else matters. With it, everything becomes possible. So protect it, strengthen it, respect it. Make time every single day to eat well, move your body, and rest fully. See health as part of your work, not separate from it. Because without energy, there is no progress. Without health, there is no success. Invest time in health. Because the greatest wealth you can ever own is the strength to live fully. Progress doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't come from random bursts of energy or from filling your calendar with endless activity. Progress is built in deliberate steps. Consistent, clear, meaningful actions that move you forward week after week. And one of the most powerful ways to create that consistency is by setting weekly goals that matter. Here's the mistake most people make. They confuse busyness with progress. They stack their week with endless tasks, emails, errands, small wins that look productive but change nothing. At the end of the week, they're exhausted but unfulfilled, because deep down they know the truth. Nothing important moved forward. If you want to build a life of real progress, you need to set weekly goals that are specific, impactful, and tied directly to your larger vision. Why weekly? Because the human mind works best with shorter timelines. A year-long goal feels overwhelming. A monthly target can still be vague. But a week is close enough to create urgency, but long enough to allow meaningful progress. Each week becomes a building block. Stack enough blocks and you build the life you want. Think of the compound effect. If every week for a year you finish just 2 or 3 meaningful goals, that's over 100 wins stacked together. 100 clear, specific, measurable steps. That is transformation, not in theory, but in reality. But choosing the right goals requires honesty. Not every task deserves to be on your list. Not every action actually moves your life forward. Before you commit, ask, if I complete this goal, will it make a real difference in my future? If the answer is no, it doesn't belong. A true weekly goal should stretch you. It should challenge you. It should give you momentum. It should make you proud when it's done because you know it matters. Here's how to build the discipline. Look at the big picture. Where do you want your life to go? Health? Business? Relationships? Learning? Each week, pick 2 to 3 goals that connect directly to that vision. Make them specific. Vague goals like get healthier or work on business don't work. Specific goals like exercise 4 times this week or contact 5 potential clients by Friday create clarity. Clarity removes excuses. Write them down. Don't just think about them. Put them in a notebook, planner, or app. Written goals become commitments, not wishes. Review them daily. Each morning, ask, what do I need to do today to finish this week strong? That focus keeps your actions aligned with your goals. Reflect on Sunday. At the end of the week, look back. Did you complete what you set out to do? If yes, celebrate. If no, ask why and adjust. This loop of reflection and adjustment is where real growth lives. The beauty of weekly goals is how they balance urgency and patience. Urgency because 7 days isn't much time, you can't delay forever. Patience because growth takes time. Each week becomes a small but powerful piece of a larger puzzle. Weekly goals also sharpen your decision-making. When you commit to 2 or 3 key wins, you're forced to cut the noise. You stop scattering your focus. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You invest your energy only where it counts. And here's another truth. Your goals should cover different parts of your life. Don't let success be one-dimensional. Each week, aim for balance, maybe 1 goal for your health, 1 for your career, 1 for personal learning. 3 powerful wins across 3 areas of life is better than 15 scattered tasks that mean nothing. The emotional impact of completing weekly goals is massive. Every Friday, every Sunday night, you'll look back and feel progress in your hands. That sense of achievement fuels motivation. And motivation fuels more discipline. Creates a cycle of momentum, win, grow, repeat. Some people say they already have goals, but when asked to show their weekly plan, they can't. A dream without weekly action is just fantasy. Weekly goals turn dreams into steps. They make the future tangible. Imagine this. Instead of waiting for New Year's resolutions, you have 52 checkpoints a year. 52 chances to redirect your path, to win, to learn, to grow. You don't drift into the next year wondering where the time went. You walk into it with 52 victories behind you. That is how consistent progress is built. So don't let another week slip away in busyness without progress. Sit down today. Choose 2 to 3 meaningful goals. Write them clearly. Commit to them fully. And by next week, when you look back, you'll feel the power of direction. Week by week, you'll move further than most people do in years. Because success is not built in random bursts, it's built in deliberate weekly steps. Choose wisely, commit fully, and let your weeks add up to the life you want. Every human being makes mistakes, but not every human being learns from them. That's the dividing line between people who grow and people who stay stuck. Mistakes are not the end of the road. They are signals. They are feedback. They are lessons waiting to be discovered. The problem is, most people never stop long enough to listen. Instead of reflecting, they distract themselves. They cover failure with entertainment, noise, or excuses. They avoid the discomfort of facing their own weakness. And so, they repeat the same errors year after year, wondering why nothing changes. If you want to live a stronger, wiser life, you must create the habit of reflection. You must carve out quiet minutes every day to review what went wrong, what went right, and what you can do better tomorrow. Reflection turns pain into progress. A mistake that is ignored becomes regret, but a mistake that is studied becomes wisdom. Think of it this way. If you delayed a task too long and missed an opportunity, the lesson is urgency. If you entered a meeting unprepared and lost credibility, the lesson is preparation. If you snapped at someone you care about and damaged the relationship, the lesson is self-control. Every mistake hides a gift, but you only unwrap it through reflection. And here's the truth. You don't need hours of meditation to reflect. Even 10 quiet minutes at night can reshape your life. Sit down in silence. Ask yourself a few honest questions. Did I use my time wisely today? Did I make choices based on strength or fear? Did I move closer to my goals or drift further away? What one thing could I do better tomorrow? Write the answers down. Writing brings clarity. Thoughts left in the head swirl endlessly. Thoughts written on paper become structured, honest, and actionable. Over time, you'll build a journal of lessons, a record of growth that shows how far you've come. But reflection is not only about failure. It's also about capturing what worked. Ask, what decision today helped me? What choice brought progress? What habit gave me energy? That way, you're not only avoiding mistakes, you're also reinforcing success. Reflection isn't about guilt. It's about responsibility. You're not punishing yourself for errors. You're studying them so they don't repeat. Reflection is an investment in your future wisdom. Here's why it matters so much. Reflection builds self-awareness. You begin to notice patterns in your behavior, habits of procrastination, triggers for anger, moments when fear takes control. Without reflection, these patterns remain invisible. With reflection, they become clear. And once they're clear, you can change them. Reflection strengthens decision-making. When you study your past, you carry the lessons forward. You stop walking into the same traps. Each decision is sharper because it's backed by experience. Reflection creates emotional balance. Mistakes can weigh heavily. They create guilt and frustration when left unresolved. Reflection releases that weight. You extract the lesson, let go of the pain, and move forward lighter and freer. Reflection develops humility. It reminds you that you're not perfect, and that's okay. Everyone fails. What separates the wise from the foolish is whether they learn. The strongest leaders, the wisest thinkers, the most resilient achievers, they all have one thing in common. They reflect. They study their failures as carefully as their successes. They extract lessons from every experience. Think about it. 10 minutes a day equals more than 60 hours a year of reflection. That's 60 hours of sharpening decisions, 60 hours of spotting patterns, 60 hours of turning pain into power. Imagine the difference between someone who never reflects and someone who spends 60 hours every year studying their own life. The gap is enormous. Reflection also transforms relationships. When you review your interactions, you may realize you spoke too harshly, failed to listen, or ignored someone's needs. Catching these mistakes early allows you to correct them before they grow into lasting damage. Reflection makes you more intentional in how you treat others. And reflection fuels courage. When you know mistakes will be studied and turned into lessons, you stop fearing them. You stop being paralyzed by the thought of failure. You act boldly because you trust yourself to learn. That mindset is unstoppable. Some people live 70 years but repeat the same mistakes for 70 years. Others live 30 years but reflect daily and grow wiser than most ever will. The difference is not age, it's reflection. So here's the discipline. Protect quiet minutes each day. Treat them as seriously as an important meeting. Sit in silence. Write your thoughts. Extract lessons. Apply them tomorrow. Over time, this small habit will change your character, your clarity, and your confidence. Because every mistake holds a lesson. Every lesson holds wisdom. And every bit of wisdom brings you closer to the life you deserve. Reflection is not optional. It's the mirror that shows you the truth. Without it, you stumble in the dark. With it, you walk in light. Make the time. Learn the lessons. Grow stronger every day. The strength of your tomorrow is being built tonight. Success isn't only decided by what you do in the morning or how hard you work during the day. It's also shaped by how you close your evening. Too many people spend their nights in ways that rob them of tomorrow's energy. They stay up scrolling endlessly, binging meaningless content, eating heavy meals that drain their body, or worrying about unfinished tasks until their mind is restless. Then they wake up the next day tired, unfocused, and already behind. If you want strong mornings, you must guard your evenings. Protecting your nights is not laziness. It's strategy. Rest is not a reward for work. It is the foundation of work. Without recovery, your mind dulls, your body weakens, and your progress slows. Athletes understand this better than anyone. They train intensely, but they also recover with equal intensity. Sleep, nutrition, and recovery rituals are part of their system because they know performance collapses without it. High achievers in business, art, and leadership must adopt the same discipline. The harder you push during the day, the more carefully you must close your evening. Here's the truth. Your brain processes the events of the day while you sleep. If you end your night in chaos and stress, your brain carries that noise into your rest. But if you end your evening in calm preparation, your brain resets and renews your energy. Deep rest gives you sharper mornings. Shallow rest leaves you chasing energy all day. So how do you protect your evenings? 1. Set clear boundaries. Decide when work ends. Without boundaries, tasks bleed into the night. One email turns into another, one video turns into 5, and suddenly it's midnight. Boundaries are not restrictions, they are protection. They ensure you don't steal from tomorrow to satisfy tonight's distractions. 2. Create evening rituals. Build habits that signal to your mind that the day is closing. Read a few pages of a book. Journal your thoughts. Write your plan for tomorrow. Practice gratitude. These rituals tell your body and mind, it's time to rest. Without them, your brain stays wired, and wired minds don't rest deeply. 3. Fuel wisely. Heavy, greasy meals late at night force your body to work while it should be repairing. Caffeine and alcohol sabotage your rest. Instead, choose light, balanced meals that support recovery. Hydrate. Treat your evening consumption as fuel for tomorrow's performance. 4. Limit technology. Screens are the enemy of rest. The endless notifications, the bright light, the addictive algorithms. They steal your focus and trick your brain into staying awake. If you want to wake up with energy, put your phone away early. Replace late-night scrolling with something that calms your mind. Reflection, reading, or meaningful conversation. 5. Release the day. Many people lie awake replaying mistakes or unfinished work. You must learn the discipline of closure. Write down tasks for tomorrow so your brain doesn't have to keep them on repeat. Tell yourself, today is done. Tomorrow I continue. This small act releases the burden and frees your mind for deep rest. 6. Honor sleep. Treat it as a non-negotiable. A consistent sleep schedule, a quiet and cool environment, and a calm mind before bed all multiply the quality of your rest. Every hour of sleep you cut is not time gained, it's focus lost. Sleep is not wasted time. It is the multiplier of energy, clarity, and productivity. Protecting your evenings also means protecting relationships. If you spend every night consumed by work or screens, you rob yourself and your loved ones of connection. Use evenings to strengthen bonds with family, friends, or even yourself. Laughter, conversations, and moments of connection restore your emotional energy. Emotional health is as vital as physical health. When you practice these disciplines, the difference is immediate. You wake up refreshed instead of exhausted. You begin the day ahead instead of behind. You carry focus, energy, and clarity that most people around you lack. Over weeks and months, the difference compounds. The person who protects their evenings begins every day with an advantage. The person who wastes their evenings begins every day in a deficit. Protecting your evenings is also about courage. Courage to say no to unnecessary commitments. Courage to turn down distractions. Courage to respect your body, your mind, and your future more than temporary pleasures. Saying no to what drains you is what allows you to say yes to tomorrow's strength. Remember this, every choice you make at night is a vote for the kind of day you'll have tomorrow. Eat poorly, scroll endlessly, stay up too late, and tomorrow you'll carry regret, fatigue, and fog. Close the night with calm, intention, and discipline, and tomorrow you'll carry strength, clarity, and momentum. Success doesn't start in the morning. It starts at night. Protect your evenings, and you will own your mornings. Own your mornings, and you will own your life. Guard your rest. Respect your recovery. Build rituals that prepare you for tomorrow's victory. The world belongs to those who begin each day with energy and clarity. And energy and clarity belong to those who protect their nights. This is how discipline extends beyond work hours. This is how you build not just productivity, but sustainability. This is how you create a life of strength. Day after day, night after night. Protect your evenings. Protect your future.